Welcome to today's Lost Souls, where we bring you the most impactful and unforgettable stories from around the world. Today, we remember the lives of remarkable individuals whose legacies continue to inspire and resonate. From iconic musicians to trailblazing activists, join us as we celebrate their extraordinary contributions and bid farewell to those who have left an indelible mark on our lives. Stay tuned for a journey through their incredible stories.
Joe Marinelli, the acclaimed American actor best known for his memorable roles in beloved soap operas, passed away at the age of 68. His life and career, marked by passion, resilience, and a commitment to his craft, left a lasting impression on both audiences and colleagues alike. Born into an Italian-American family in Meriden, Connecticut, Joe's early years were shaped by a spirit of adventure and discovery. In 1961, his family relocated to Southern California, a move that would eventually set the stage for his acting career. Joe's father, George, a World War II veteran, was determined to show his family the wonders of America. By the time Joe was in 6th grade, he had traveled to every state in the continental U.S. At least twice. Joe's journey into acting began somewhat unconventionally. As a young student, he was often reprimanded for making sound effects during English class readings. Instead of discouraging him, his teacher, Stan Zalz, a talented actor and Pasadena Playhouse graduate, recognized Joe's unique talent and encouraged him to pursue acting. This mentorship continued through junior high and beyond, with Joe performing in at least 2 plays each year. Despite his growing love for the stage, Joe was initially hesitant to embrace acting as a profession, wary of its inherent uncertainties. While studying business at Loyola Marymount University, Joe continued to immerse himself in theater, eventually earning a coveted spot in a tutorial program at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art in London. There, he learned the discipline and integrity of the acting profession, solidifying his commitment to the craft. After completing his degree in theater, Joe continued to hone his skills under the guidance of renowned mentors Gene Muir and Michael Shurtleff. The decade following college was a testament to Joe's perseverance. He performed in countless theater productions across Los Angeles, often for little or no pay, while supporting himself as a carpenter. His breakthrough came with a guest-starring role on L.A. Law, which caught the attention of Jill Farron Phelps, executive producer of Santa Barbara. She invited him to audition for the role of Bunny Togliatti, a gangster and transvestite, part that would earn him the Soap Opera Digest Award for outstanding comedic performance in daytime television. Joe Marinelli's television career flourished from there. He became widely recognized for his roles as William Ludell in General Hospital and Togliatti in Santa Barbara. His versatility as an actor was further showcased in recurring and guest appearances on popular series such as Insecure, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Desperate Housewives, and Victorious. He also took on roles in The Morning Show and The Offer, demonstrating his ability to adapt to diverse genres and characters. Off-screen, Joe was a devoted family man, survived by his wife Jean, a talented French hornist, and their 2 sons, Vincent and David. Vincent pursued a career as a film editor and writer, while David became a musician. Collaborating with Phineas O'Connell, Joe was immensely proud of his sons' achievements, often celebrating their milestones on social media. Joe Marinelli's legacy is one of artistic excellence, humility, and mentorship. He inspired countless young actors with his dedication, humor, and generosity of spirit. His colleagues remember him as a wide-eyed positivist and a beautiful human being who brought joy to every set he graced. As Mark Duplass, his co-star on The Morning Show, poignantly shared, "We will miss him dearly. I will try to live my life a bit like he lived his. We all should." Joe Marinelli's passing is a profound loss to the entertainment world, but his influence endures through the performances he gave and the lives he touched. Mikayla Raines, a passionate animal rescue advocate and popular YouTube personality, tragically died by suicide at the age of 29. Her husband, Ethan Raines, shared the heartbreaking news in an emotional video posted on Mikayla's YouTube channel, revealing that she had battled numerous mental health challenges for years. and struggled with relentless online abuse and bullying. Born with autism and also diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and depression, Mikayla dedicated her life to rescuing and rehabilitating animals, especially foxes. In 2017, at just 20 years old, she founded SaveAFox Rescue, a non-profit based in Lakeville, Minnesota, focused on rescuing foxes from fur farms and finding them loving forever homes. Over the years, her organization successfully rescued more than 150 foxes, and her advocacy earned her a massive following of over 2.4 million subscribers on YouTube, along with hundreds of thousands of followers across social media platforms. Despite her public success and the love she had for animals and her husband, Mikayla faced severe online harassment, including from people she considered close friends and others within the animal rescue community. Her husband detailed how false rumors and relentless bullying took a devastating toll on her mental health. He described how Mikayla, a sensitive and determined individual, tried to push through the pain for years, but ultimately could no longer endure the emotional suffering caused by the negativity directed at her. Ethan also shared the tragic moment when he found Mikayla and performed CPR for 15 minutes before emergency responders arrived. But unfortunately, she could not be revived. In his emotional messages, he condemned those responsible for the online abuse and vowed to continue Mikayla's mission and legacy of animal rescue, hoping to honor her memory by carrying forward the work she was so passionate about. Mikayla Raines' passing is a profound loss to the animal rescue community and her millions of followers worldwide. Her story highlights the devastating impact of online bullying and the importance of mental health awareness, especially for those who dedicate their lives to helping others. Her legacy endures through SaveAFox Rescue and the countless lives she touched with her compassion and determination. Bobby Sherman, the beloved teen idol and actor known for his chart-topping hits and role in the TV series Here Come the Brides, passed away at the age of 81 after a battle with stage 4 kidney cancer. His death was confirmed on June 24, 2025, by his wife, Bridget Paublan, who shared a heartfelt message describing how Bobby departed this life holding her hand, just as he had upheld their life together with love, courage, and unwavering grace throughout their 29 years of marriage. Born Robert Cabot Sherman Jr. on July 22, 1943, in Santa Monica, California, Bobby Sherman rose to fame in the 1960s as a pop singer and actor. Discovered at a Hollywood party at the age of 20, he became a regular performer on the ABC musical variety show Shindig, where he shared the stage with many top acts of the era. His acting debut came in 1966, and he soon landed the role of Jeremy Bolt, the youngest and bashful logger brother, on the popular series Here Come the Brides 1968 to 1970. The show, described as a Western with no guns, was inspired by the Mercer Girls story and the musical 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. Sherman's music career was marked by several top 10 Billboard hits, including Little Woman, Julie, Do Ya Love Me, Easy Come, Easy Go, and La La La, If I Had You. His boy next door charm made him a teen idol of the late 1960s and early 1970s, with his music career spanning just a few years but leaving a lasting impact. After leaving show business in the 1970s, Sherman pursued a career as a paramedic and a reserve deputy sheriff, demonstrating his dedication to service beyond entertainment. In his final months, Sherman chose to spend his days at home surrounded by family, crossword puzzles, and their beloved dogs. Bridget Paublan publicly shared updates about his health and expressed deep gratitude for the strength and light he maintained even in his last days. Their enduring love and partnership were a testament to the man he was: brave, gentle, and full of light. Bobby Sherman's passing marks the loss of a cherished entertainer and humanitarian. Fans, colleagues, and fellow celebrities have honored his legacy, remembering him not only for his fame, but for his compassion and lifelong dedication to helping others. His contributions to music, television, and public service have left an indelible mark on generations of admirers. Serge Fiori, the legendary Quebec singer, guitarist, and founding member of the iconic folk rock band Harmonium, passed away at the age of 73 after a prolonged illness. He died peacefully in the early hours of June 24, 2025, at his home in Saint-Henri-de-Télen, Quebec, coinciding with Quebec's Fête Nationale, a day of great cultural significance for the province. Born in Montreal in 1952 to an Italian father and French-speaking mother, Fiori emerged as a central figure in Quebec's music scene in the early 1970s. Alongside Michel Normando and Louis Valois, he formed Harmonium, a band that distinguished itself from the prevalent chanson style of the time. By blending poetic lyrics with intricate folk rock compositions, their self-titled debut album, released in 1974, featured the classic hit Pour un Instant and sold over 100,000 copies, quickly becoming a cornerstone of Quebec's musical identity. Harmonium released two more critically acclaimed albums, Si en avait besoin d'une cinquième saison, 1975, and Le Heptade, 1976, which expanded the boundaries of rock music in Quebec and resonated deeply with multiple generations. Despite singing exclusively in French, Harmonium achieved recognition beyond provincial borders, including some success in the United States, a rare feat for Quebec artists at the time. Fiori's influence extended beyond Harmonium. After the band disbanded in the late 1970s, he pursued a solo career and collaborated with other artists, contributing to theatrical productions and film scores. His 2014 solo album, Serge Fiori, marked a significant return after nearly 3 decades. Earning critical acclaim and awards, he also composed music for films, such as Babini 2009, which won a Felix Award for Best Original Soundtrack. Quebec Premier François Legault paid tribute to Fiori, highlighting his song's poetry, depth, and sensitivity, and acknowledging how Fiori reshaped the significance of music in Quebec. Legault noted that Fiori's work with Harmonium opened new vistas for an entire era and brought Quebec's music to international stages. From Mount Royal to Europe, Parti Quebecois leader Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon called him a true ambassador of Quebec culture whose artistic legacy will endure for decades. Serge Fiori's passing is mourned as the loss of a musical giant who profoundly shaped Quebec's cultural landscape. His timeless songs and innovative spirit continue to inspire artists and fans alike, securing his place as a cherished icon in Canadian music history. Ene Järvis, a distinguished Estonian stage, film, radio, and television actress, passed away on June 24, 2025, at the age of 77. Her artistic career spanned over 5 decades, during which she became a beloved figure in Estonian performing arts. Born on October 26, 1947, in Ene, Pulva County, Ene was the second youngest of 5 siblings. She completed her secondary education at Pulva Secondary School in 1966 and went on to study performing arts at the Tallinn State Conservatory, now the Estonian Academy of Music and Theatre. Graduating in 1970, during her studies, she formed a lifelong friendship with fellow actress Helene Vanari. Ene Järvis was known for her versatile acting skills, contributing significantly to theater, television, and radio. She appeared in popular Estonian productions, such as Mikayla Raines and the long-running TV series N13, endearing herself to audiences with her compelling performances. Her work in the arts was marked by dedication, depth, and a strong connection to Estonian culture. In her personal life, Ene was married to actor Velo Janson from 1976 until their divorce in 1984. She later lived in Tallinn with her long-term partner Gunnar. Although she had no children, her influence and legacy in the Estonian cultural scene were profound. Ene Järvis's passing was mourned across Estonia, with tributes highlighting her immense contribution to the arts and her role in shaping Estonian theater and television. Her legacy continues through the many performances that captured the hearts of audiences, and through the inspiration she provided to younger generations of actors. Her death marks the end of an era, for Estonian performing arts, but her memory remains vibrant in the cultural fabric of the nation. Lou Christie, the celebrated American pop and soft rock singer-songwriter, passed away at the age of 82 on June 18, 2025, after a brief illness at his home in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Born Luigi Alfredo Giovanni Sacco on February 19, 1943 in Glenwillard, Pennsylvania. Christie rose to fame in the early 1960s with his distinctive falsetto voice and heartfelt songwriting, becoming a defining figure of the era's teen idol phenomenon. Christie's breakthrough came with the 1960 hit The Gypsy Cried, which gained regional popularity and set the stage for his later success. He is best known for his 1966 chart-topping single Lightnin' Strikes, which reached No. 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and showcased his remarkable vocal range and emotional intensity. Other notable hits include "Da Faces Have I," which reached No. 6 in 1963, "Rhapsody in the Rain," a song that stirred controversy and was banned on some radio stations for its candid treatment of teenage sexuality, and "I'm Gonna Make You Mine," which was a UK top 10 hit in 1969. Throughout his career, Christie collaborated extensively with Twyla Herbert, a classically trained but eccentric musician who co-wrote many of his songs. Their partnership was instrumental in crafting songs that went beyond typical pop themes, often exploring deeper emotional territory. Christie's ability to blend catchy melodies with complex vocal arrangements set him apart from many of his contemporaries. Beyond his peak years in the 1960s, Christie continued to evolve as an artist. In 1974, he ventured into country music with a self-titled album that included Beyond the Blue Horizon, a track later featured in the film Rain Man 1988. He remained active in music well into his later years, touring with fellow 1960s icons such as Frankie Avalon and Fabian. As part of the Dick Fox Golden Boys supergroup until the early 2020s, Christie's personal life was marked by both joy and tragedy. He was married to Francesca Winfield since 1971 and is survived by their daughter, Bianca. His only son, Christopher, tragically died in a motorcycle accident in 2014. Despite such hardships, Christie was remembered by family and fans alike for his kindness, generosity, humor, and enduring spirit. Lou Christie's death leaves a significant void in the world of pop music. His pioneering falsetto style, heartfelt songwriting, and charismatic performances influenced generations of artists and fans. He will be remembered not only for his musical contributions, but also for the warmth and humanity he brought to his art and his relationships. Richard Tiffany Geer was born on August 31st, St. 1949 in the industrial city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to Doris and a homemaker, and Homer George Geer, an insurance salesman who would later become a champion of affordable housing. Though the family's means were modest, the household pulsed with curiosity, compassion, and a quiet insistence on self-improvement when Richard was still a toddler. The Geers moved north to a sprawling wood-rimmed lot in Syracuse, New York, where the young boy's imagination found ample room to roam. He built makeshift circus tents from old sheets, staged backyard plays for siblings and neighborhood kids, and hammered together crude musical instruments in the garage. A self-professed skinny dreamer, he spent hours tracing constellations and wondering what lay beyond his small pocket of the American Midwest. School came easily to him, yet he struggled with traditional discipline. Teachers noted a student who preferred wandering thought to regimented lesson plans. In band class, he gravitated toward the trumpet, enthralled by the instrument's brassy ability to slice through silence like a declaration of intent. Sports offered an additional outlet. Gymnastics, with its emphasis on balancing controlled flight, spoke to his yearning for both precision and freedom. At North Syracuse Central High, Geer honed a reputation as the quiet kid who, when coaxed onto the stage, seemed to ignite. A guidance counselor urged him to audition for the school's production of Oklahoma, a suggestion that would alter the trajectory of his life. Under the lights, performing Curly's ballad "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning," Richard felt an almost chemical surge, nerves alchemized into electricity, and the audience's applause rang in his ears for days. That rush convinced him Art could be a profession rather than a pastime. He devoured Stanislavski's An Actor Prepares between algebra assignments and convinced his skeptical father to let him subscribe to the New Yorker so he could read the theater listings. By graduation, he was captain of the gymnastics team, first trumpet in the concert band, and winner of the school's Creativity Award, proof that discipline and devotion once paired could magnify raw talent. In 1967, Gere accepted a gymnastics scholarship to the University of Massachusetts Amherst, where he intended to major in philosophy, but the campus, aflame with anti-war protest and countercultural energy, proved more intoxicating than classroom debate. He spent late nights in coffee houses discussing Kimu and Buddhism, practiced classical guitar in dorm stairwells, and began acting with the student-run theater troupe. One semester sufficed to convince him that formal education would always trail the furious pace of his curiosity. He dropped out at the end of freshman year, packed a duffel bag, and pointed a beat-up Volkswagen toward New York City. Manhattan in 1969 was gritty, glorious, and alive with artistic possibility. Gere juggled odd jobs: dishwasher, stage hand, furniture mover, while renting a windowless room in Hell's Kitchen for $50 a month. He spent mornings at open call auditions and evenings soaking in avant-garde performances downtown, scribbling notes about lighting cues, costume choices, and emotional beats. Within a year, he landed a chorus role in a touring production of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, earning just enough to keep chasing roles. His break came in 1973 when director Michael Bennett cast him as a replacement Danny Zuko in the London production of Grease, while other actors treated the part as a springboard to West End fame. Gere treated each performance as a master class, studying audience reaction, testing subtle variations in delivery, and sharpening his natural onstage magnetism. Those formative years hardened his work ethic and broadened his worldview. On days off, hitchhiked through rural England, sleeping in barns and talking to strangers in pubs, convinced that understanding the human mosaic would someday enrich his portrayals. He adopted a disciplined regimen: morning meditation, afternoon script analysis, evening performance. The London press dubbed him the thinking woman's heartthrob, noting a rare combination of physical allure and introspective gravity. Yet Gere remained wary of premature labels. Aware that typecasting could defeat potential, he returned to New York, hungry for film, determined to translate stage momentum onto celluloid. What awaited him was a decade of breakout roles that would etch his name into Hollywood history. But first he had to survive the city's ruthless audition circuit and the industry's fickle gatekeepers. When Richard Gere returned to New York in the mid-1970s, American cinema was twisting itself into new shapes, eager for faces that signaled both rebellion and romance. Gere's preternatural blend of streetwise grit and classical good looks made him an irresistible candidate for a director's hunting fresh energy. His screen baptism came in Looking for More, Goodbar 1977, where opposite Diane Keaton, he distilled male beauty into something unnervingly dangerous, equal parts seduction and threat. 2 years later, Terrence Malick summoned him to the wide-angle lyricism of Days of Heaven 1978. Gere's threshing field silhouette, haloed by golden dusk, became an instant emblem of New Hollywood's pastoral dreams, and critics noted how his silent glances carried entire paragraphs of unspoken backstory. Yet stardom only fully ignited with American Gigolo 1980. Paul Schrader's neon-lit Odyssey turned Gere into a cultural phenomenon. His Armani suit sculpted torso and ice-cool swagger defined aspiration for a generation of urban spheres. But beneath the polished veneer, he mapped a soul corroded by transactional intimacy, revealing a tragic fragility that elevated the film beyond flashy provocation. Studio executives realized they had in their midst an actor who could sell tickets with a smile, yet haunt viewers long after the credits. Offers flooded in, but Gere pivoted deliberately, sensing longevity depended on variety rather than repetition. That instinct paid dividends with An Officer and a Gentleman 1982 as Zach Mayo. He forged a character arc as rigorous as Navy flight school. Rough recruit, broken son, redeemed adult. The climactic factory floor rescue white dress uniform, Deborah Winger, swept into his arms, burned itself onto pop culture consciousness, and launched a cascade of enlistment spikes across U.S. recruiting centers. The film grossed more than $130 million worldwide, and Gere, only 33, now held the industry's golden ticket. Romantic lead credibility plus box office proof instead of coasting Harris tabloid backlash. By tackling Breathless 1983, a punk-infused remake of the French New Wave classic. Though the film polarized critics, it underscored his willingness to gamble commercial capital for artistic experimentation. In the Cotton Club 1984, he rehearsed trumpet solos for months, determined to nail the swing-era authenticity. Francis Ford Coppola demanded while production was blunted the film's financial return. Gere's portrayal of conflicted mob-adjacent musician Dixie Dwyer hinted at deeper reserves of melancholy. He would latter mine after several quieter releases. The 1990 juggernaut Pretty Woman rewrote box office records and cemented Gere's status as global icon. Paired with Julia Roberts, he inverted his earlier predator persona, embodying a corporate raider redeemed by vulnerability. The chemistry was so incandescent that theatergoers reportedly bought multiple tickets just to relive the penthouse piano scene. Pretty Woman became one of the highest-grossing romantic comedies ever. Its $463 million haul, dwarfing expectations and proving Gere could seduce mainstream audiences without sacrificing nuance. The 1990s found him oscillating between mainstream crowd-pleasers and morally ambiguous dramas. Primal Fear 1996 showcased him as hotshot attorney Martin Vale, whose bravado crumbles when confronted with Edward Norton's chilling duality. The Jackal 1997 cast him as an IRA sharpshooter, forced into uneasy alliance with the FBI, and Runaway Bride 1999 reunited him with Roberts for another sentimental smash, reminding skeptics that lightning can indeed strike twice. Critics who once typecast him as a pretty face fell silent after Chicago 2002 as slick lawyer Billy Flynn. Gere tap danced through candor and Ebb's jazz age satire, with show-stopping flair, earning a Golden Globe and contributing to the film's Best Picture Oscar. In press interviews, he credited childhood gymnastics for the effortless heel clicks and Buddhist meditation for the breath control required to project over a 20-piece orchestra. The performance extended his relevance into the new millennium, bridging old-school charisma with postmodern showmanship. Throughout the 2010s, he gravitated toward indie and international projects. Arbitrage 2012 dissected Wall Street hubris. Time Out of Mind 2014 plunged him into New York's homeless crisis, and Norman 2016 painted a tragic comic portrait of a small-time fixer. These roles, less reliant on matinee idol magnetism, highlighted his maturing interest in characters marinated in moral gray. He also nurtured long-term collaborations with directors Joseph Cedar and Oren Moverman, choosing stories that echoed his social justice activism. By the time he appeared in Maybe I Do 2023, audiences greeted him like an old friend, aware any Gere performance might blend charm with unexpected depth taken together. His filmography charts a restless intellect, refusing to calcify from disco-era noir to Oscar-winning musical. From courtroom thrillers to meditative artus, Gere's career exemplifies the power of strategic reinvention, a blueprint for actors navigating an industry often hostile to aging heartthrobs. Richard Gere's public image has long fused elegance with vitality. Yet behind the still photogenic exterior lies a disciplined wellness philosophy forged over decades. In the early 1980s, while training for an officer and a gentleman, he exchanged the protein-heavy steak and eggs diet favored on military sets for a predominantly plant-based regimen inspired by the macrobiotic teachings of Miyakoshi G. Found that grains, steamed vegetables, and modest portions of white fish left him lighter on his feet and calmer between takes. Yoga soon followed, initially a morning stretch routine. It evolved into a daily 90-minute practice, blending hot postures with pranayama, breathing, a ritual he credits with keeping his spine supple enough to execute Broadway-style tap in Chicago, to decades later meditation seated during dorm room debates about Zen at UMass matured into rigorous Vipassana sessions. Friends recall entire weekends when he communicated only through handwritten notes so as not to break silence between sits. These interlocking habits, clean fuel, physical elasticity, mental stillness, became the scaffolding of a lifestyle that would support him through both blockbuster marathons and indie film sprints even the most robust routines. However, cannot fully immunize a body against time or chance while filming The Cotton Club in 1983. Gere fractured two ribs performing a pratfall. That stunt coordinators had begged him to delegate. He finished the take before acknowledging pain, then spent 6 weeks sleeping upright. To facilitate healing, an early lesson in honoring limits. In 2007, a minor meniscus tear suffered during a charity soccer match forced arthroscopic knee surgery. G turned the mandated downtime into a self-styled retreat, reading Pema Chodron, learning Mandarin phrases for an upcoming visit to Tibet, and composing the foreword to a book on Buddhist compassion. The knee fully recovered, yet he emerged with a heightened respect for preventive conditioning. Pilates equipment soon joined the yoga mats in his converted barn studio. The most headline-grabbing scare arrived in March 2023 while vacationing near Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. After battling a persistent cough, Gere checked into a local hospital and was diagnosed with moderate pneumonia. Tabloids swirled with speculation, but treating physicians emphasized the episode was non-life-threatening and that his baseline fitness accelerated recovery. Still, the incident reminded Gere, then 73, that even a well-tuned system can falter amid tropical humidity and long flight schedules. Upon returning to his Bedford estate in upstate New York, he instituted stricter travel protocols, portable air purifiers, N95 masks in crowded terminals, and an added rest day before any public engagement. He also incorporated interval walking, short bursts of brisk pace, alternated with normal gait. After reading geriatric studies linking the method to enhanced cardiopulmonary resilience, equally important is Gere's engagement with public health advocacy. Deeply moved by early encounters with Tibetan monks who lacked basic medical supplies, he founded the Gere Foundation in 1991 to channel funds toward HIV/AIDS research and rural health care projects across the Himalayas. Long before antiretroviral therapy became widely accessible, he leveraged red carpet interviews to destigmatize the disease, insisting compassion, not fear, must guide policy domestically. He has partnered with New York's Coalition for the Homeless to provide mobile clinics offering flu shots, dental checkups, and mental health referrals. Colleagues note how he often arrives at board meetings armed with peer-reviewed journals, eager to discuss probiotic trials or community health worker models. Proof that activism for him is less photo op than ongoing scholarship. Mental wellness to remain central. Gere openly discusses anxiety he experienced during the early blitz of fame, the sleepless nights before American Gigolo press junkets, the nagging imposter syndrome after Pretty Woman shattered box office records. Rather than pharmaceutical routes, had doubled down on mindfulness disciplines, attending 10-day Vipassana retreats twice yearly. These silent immersions, he says, act as psychological reboots, flushing residual stress and recalibrating intention before new creative ventures. He also credits long-form gratitude journaling, listing 50 points of appreciation each dawn, with sustaining buoyancy in an industry rife with ego whiplash. Today, routine checkups reveal metrics enviable for someone who crossed 75, resting heart rate in the low 50s, cholesterol well within optimal range, and bone density comparable to men 15 years younger. Gere attributes these numbers to consistency rather than perfection. He allows occasional red wine indulgence, savors dark chocolate sourced from fair trade cooperatives, and maintains a rule that dinner